A poker. Bum, 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 bum. I lost it all. But someday I'll be back again, and I'm never to fall. OAR. Okay. If you don't know OAR, look it up. They are fantabulous. Wonderful band, excellent vibe, very reggae, rock, and beachy, and lovely and wonderful. They're one of my favorites outside of Dave Matthews. Hello. What about this Wednesday show? You and me, mono e persono. I don't want to offend anybody. Want to say hello to Lindarella, Robin Bird, Mercury. Everybody's in the live chat already. Christine, welcome aboard. Good to have you. We've got a whole slew of lovely topics to make one hell of a podcast. Speaking of hell, that's where JD Vance told Kamala Harris to go. Things are getting a little fiery on that old campaign trail. Armie Hammer crying poverty, which is hilarious to me. And the Pope telling everybody to accept migrants, which has got the Republicans in a little bit of a confusing. They don't really know what to do there. Plus, we have lots of other assorted items and such. My goodness, don't look now. It's a podcast. Crazy game of poker. You ever get into a, you just like, everybody has favorite bands, but you ever get into a band and then you can't stop listening to the band? Like you just go, like everything else becomes insignificant and you're just listening to this one band or this one record over and over and over again. That's where I'm at. I got stuck in that big time. I'm just on OAR nonstop. Can't stop listening to it. Can't stop, won't stop. You know what I'm talking about? JD Vance is fired up. Homie was upset today. He was not too pleased with Kamala Harris and told her to go to hell. I'm surprised he didn't say HE double hockey sticks because I hate when people do that. But usually that's like a really like religious thing. Let's take a listen to JD Vance out on the old campaign trail.
13 Americans lose their lives and not fire a single person is disgraceful. Kamala Harris is disgraceful. We're going to talk about a story out of those 13 brave, innocent Americans who lost their lives. It's that Kamala Harris is so asleep at the wheel that she won't even do an investigation into what happened. And she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
Whoa. Good burn. I like how he paused there for a second, like he was going to say something worse. I think he was going to tell her to go fuck herself. That would have been amazing. That would have been historical precedence for a vice presidential candidate to tell a presidential candidate to go fuck themselves. Luckily that he stuck with the whole go to hell part. Now he's reacting to this story that has really become a weird thing where over the week, I think it was over the weekend, maybe it was Monday night, I forget, I can't even remember. There was a memorial held for 13, he mentioned 13 people who lost their lives during the us pulling out of Afghanistan, which has become a big right-wing talking point for the Trump campaign because they're trying to, illustrate some of the mistakes and errors of not only Kamala Harris, but the Biden administration. And so President Trump went to Arlington Cemetery, Arlington National, and he laid a wreath down. There was lots of photo ops. There was lots of video. A lot of people criticizing him for even going, saying that he was taking advantage of a situation. I have to defend him here because he was invited. Family members of some of the fallen, they invited him. They wanted him there, so he showed up. I mean, what are you going to do if he just if he invites himself? It's a valid argument. But if he gets invited, then what are you going to do? He got invited. He took advantage of the invitation. There's nothing wrong with that. It does put an exclamation point again on this. Like it's all strange timing, but again, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to people that the members of the families of the people who were lost genuinely invited him, and he genuinely went. Let's choose to take it at surface value. But even though it was video, it was filmed, it was taped, it was broadcast, and there were photo ops and everything else. There was some like skirmish between Trump's people and somebody at Arlington National Cemetery. It's illegal to do anything political on those sacred grounds. They're saying now that there was verbal and like a physical, like shoved one of the members of the cemetery. Trump's campaign is obviously denying this. The cemetery people are saying it happened. Family members of the soldiers are like, well, we invited him. He can go and take pictures. Other people are saying it's illegal. It's political. You can't do it. It's a mess. I mean, the whole thing is a mess. Like I see a story like this, and it's a he said, she said, and we got dead soldiers, in the middle of it, and you want to say like keep focus. Can it just be a ceremony? Does it have to be do we have to turn this into a political fight? But it's been gaining steam. It's been gaining momentum as a story because people are upset on both sides. People are getting really angry and trying to point to their side and how their side is right. I don't know what happened. I mean, again, if there were photographers in video, you'd think there'd be some sort of footage of this happening. I guess it's possible that they didn't really catch it. I don't know what kind of a person would shove somebody else in a cemetery, no matter how upset they got. I mean, maybe there was a little brush up or something like that. It's one of these crazy stories that gets too wacky to even have like an opinion about. I mean, right? I mean, don't you think? Like, I know people. All right, if you're on one side or the other, you're gonna feel like your side is right. I get that, but putting all that aside for a second, like, this is like, can you really have like a feeling towards this other than sadness that people are getting into altercations at a cemetery? And I don't know why they needed to go to this particular area, this area 60 again. Because there was plenty of footage and photographs of Donald Trump. If you're not supposed to politicize or take political photos or do anything political in the cemetery, I understand that, right? But if the families invite you and then they want a photograph, and then Trump's campaign guy comes over to take a picture, do you stop that from happening? Like, I don't understand why this is all that complicated, And of course, the left wants to deflect this because, they were the ones who withdrew from Afghanistan. Everybody knows that did not go smoothly. At the time, I applauded the administration for getting us out. It was something that the Obama administration, which included Joe Biden, could not do. It is something that Trump could not do in his 4 years. And then it's something that Biden just came in and did. And again, he didn't do it all that well. And I don't think anybody argues with that. That probably, I shouldn't say probably, that could have been handled better. That could have been handled a little bit better. So the whole thing is just bizarre. One side's trying to distract the other side from looking the worst, in this whole scenario. I don't think we talked about this on Monday, specifically because I was like, this is a no-win situation. But again, here we are, and it's Wednesday, and it's like JD Vance is telling her to go to hell. It sparks the whole thing up, and then you got to tell the background of the whole story and why it happened, and boom, there it is. Here we are. That's the whole story. I don't have an opinion on this. This doesn't change my thought on who I'm going to vote for. It's just an unfortunate, weird, bizarre thing, and it's one of those things that comes up in the midst of a campaign that's inconsequential. It doesn't make a difference. When you go to the polls, you're not going to be sitting there going, well, that whole cemetery thing was a real fiasco. Let me vote. Let me make sure I consider that when I vote. Like, it's not going to matter. It's, what does this candidate do for me and my family? How does this work? Who do I think I have a better chance with? And that's the way I'm going to swing my vote. Nothing else really matters. This doesn't matter. We're not going to talk about this, 2 months from now. You can make the argument that the whole Afghan pullout, that could matter, foreign relations, and that's going to be part of the whole campaign. That's going to be part of the debate, which we're locked into. From what I understand, the one debate is happening. From what I gather, Donald Trump wanted 3. I'm a big fan of having more than one. I don't know if that can happen now. You've got September, October, and the election is in November. So one a month is stretching it, because then you got to put the vice presidential candidates up there. We want to see them spar at it a little bit, don't you? I mean, I guess you could do 3 and not have the VPs go at it at all. But I don't know. I want to see JD Vance and Tim Walz mix it up a little bit on the stage. I want to see them go at it. I'm excited about the debate itself. Again, all this kind of political stuff is wearing me down a little bit. I don't really care for it all that much. Like I said, this was a story we could have done on Monday, and we didn't consciously, So I'm a little tired of the whole thing. But the debate I'm looking forward to. There was a whole issue on the notes. Supposedly Kamala Harris asked for notes to be able to bring notes on stage, and that was denied. I don't know what kind of a move that is. I don't know if that's Kamala really nervous. I mean, she didn't do great in the Democratic primary debates, but primary debates are a mess. There's like 8 people on stage. It's chaos. 2 people on stage in a debate's a mess. You add 6 more people, and it's a fucking nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. So, but I'm looking forward to the debate. I want to see these people get at it. Tomorrow, I believe, is going to be, I think CNN has Kamala and Tim Walz. So we'll get something, It's funny because somebody brought up to me, he's like, you're talking a lot about Trump and JD Vance a lot lately. Why is that? And I'm like, they're the only ones talking. I mean, we're picking on them. They deserve it. But they're the only ones talking. You can't pick on Kamala and Tim Walz because they ain't saying shit. They're doing some stump speeches and stuff like that. But who really, there's nothing really there to pick apart. There's nothing really there to talk about. They haven't done shit. Tomorrow they'll be on CNN. I would prefer if they went on Fox News. I'd love it if they went on Newsmax. Mix it up a little bit. Get a little Pete Buttigieg. Take a page out of Buttigieg's book and go on over to Fox News. Sit with Fox and do an interview. What would happen if Kamala sat for an interview at Fox? We would all watch it. Nobody would miss that. Kamala on CNN? It's going to be a lot of softballs. Kamala on Fox? Now we're talking. I'd like to get Kamala on that 5 show with the other 4 nut jobs and let them, hammer it out for a little while. When you're going to be the president of the United States of America, it is the toughest job. You're going to be sitting at tables across from dictators. You're going to be on the phone with crazy people. You're going to have to deal with terrorist organizations, war, hurricanes, right? Tragedies. You're going to have to deal with all that. You should be able to handle the opposition party's media for an hour. Should be able to do that. It's kind of a requirement. So am I a little nervous for Kamala going into this? I would have to tell you, yes, a smidge if she was asking for notes. Now, the fact that the note request leaked is interesting. Is that Trump's campaign pointing out how pathetic she is, how sad this is going to be? Is this the Harris campaign leaking that out there to make, or not leaking, but putting the ask in there to throw the Trump campaign off? Can Kamala's campaign, are they really capable of playing 4D chess like that? Because I did have that thought earlier, like, that's an awfully bold request to take notes. I mean, by the way, everybody takes notes, right? They got a piece of paper. You could jot stuff down, but to have like a cheat sheet with you, that's a weird ask to me. And again, I don't know. Here's the thing. A lot of Kamala's campaign staff was Obama's campaign staff. She went back to the Obama pool and pulled a lot of people. So I don't know if they put in a weird ask like that just to fuck around. I'm not entirely sure. But I love a debate. And I love that mind game shit. Like, if that were me, I would put some weird shit in there. Be like, let's ask for some weird shit. See if they could fucking go for it. Let's do it. See what happens. Let's ask for notes. Let's ask for cheat sheets. Let's ask for a full binder. Let's see what happens. Let's ask if it's okay if we write the answers on a little, you want to hear the craziest cheating story the craziest cheating scheme I've ever seen. I'm in high school and somebody, you know how the pencils are flat? Like a pencil looks round, but it's really like 6 or 8, whatever it is, flat sides. A dude I knew took a pen and wrote answers to the questions on the flat sides of a pencil and took the pencil into a test. It was brilliant. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. So much so that I think after he was done taking the test, he passed it around. And everybody got the answers. Let me tell you my greatest school cheating scam that I ever worked up. This was brilliant. And I came up with this on my own and helped like 4 other people do it. We had in college, gather around, kids. Let me tell you about what school was like before electricity. So in college, I forget even what class this was for, but you had to write down essays. It was a class where the final was a series of essays. And I went to the St. John's University. So they would hand out these booklets, which was like a regular piece of paper, but folded in half, right? So they would take like 6 pages of paper, fold it in half, put a St. John's seal cover on it, which was a different color, and then they would staple it together. And then like the lines were going this way, so you could open it like a book and literally just write on the lines. So we had one of these books and there was like 20 something pages in there. And we had to write an essay for this class. And I think it was philosophy. And so it was like a series of essays and you literally had to answer every single question. You essentially filled up the entire book. We're in a classroom one day and we find in one of the teacher cabinets these booklets. Now, you couldn't get these anywhere. The teachers were given them for tests and they held on to them like death because it was like this was the test booklet. So I go, wouldn't it be great to write down the essay questions, because it was one of those things where we were given 20 questions and we knew we were going to have to answer like 4. And we knew we were going to be given an option. Like, so we got 20 questions. He was going to give us 10. We had to answer 4, right? So it was just like a series of, just math to kind of narrow it down. So I see the book and I go, it would be great to be able to just write the answers down now and bring the book into the test. And then my buddy goes, yeah, but you don't know if he's going to have the yellow booklets or the blue booklets or the pink booklets. I'm like, I know, shit. And then it dawned on me. It was an hour and a half final anyway. I'm like, if I write all the answers in this booklet and then just loosen the staples, I could always just take the booklet that he gives me, take the cover off, swap covers, put the staples in, bend the staples back. And that is exactly what I did. That is exactly what I did. And not only did I do it, I think 2 or 3 other guys did it too. We sat down, we wrote the essay out. I think I fucked up one thing where I think I had to change one of the questions out. And so I wound up just like rewriting it. But there I was under the table whenever he wasn't looking, just like taking the staple, because you get your little pen underneath the staple. You lift up the staples, you get it loose. You do the whole, you put the whole thing in. Dunsky, brought my whole test in ahead of time. Didn't have to worry about nothing. The funny thing is I spent so much time worrying about cheating that in my effort to cheat, I actually learned one of the answers to the questions, and that's how I was able to write in what it was. It's like I spent a whole time cheating, worried about cheating. I could have just taken the test. And I sat there the whole time. I probably should have just taken the test because the anxiety of waiting for those perfect moments to pull the test apart and switch the covers out, And this was it was like just the shittiest like photocopy cover. It was like slightly a better paper on the outside than the rest of it. It was so awfully put together, Yeah, that's what we did. Getting a lot of laughter on that in the live chat. That's what we did. That was college. Now I'm sure they take it all on iPads and shit like that. It's all kinds of different. There's a new comedy coming out on FX, I think, where it's like about teachers. Has anybody seen this yet? And the teacher is complaining to the principal. He's like, "Oh, this whole essay is all Chat GPT." And the principal looks up at him and he's like, "So it's the wave of the future." And it's such an ironic joke because I think about this all the time. The amount of stuff that I use Chat GPT for is a lot these days. We use AI a lot to put the podcast on and put all the clips out and everything. Believe it or not, we do. There's some crazy AI programs that we're tapped into now that helps us get all the clips out and all the kinds of stuff. And it's like, I think about this for my kids and it's like, do my kids need to know everything or do they just need to know how to find answers? Do I teach them knowledge and memorize and learn and understand, or do I teach them the proper prompts to use on ChatGPT? I have no idea. I just really don't know. And I used to think about this with Google. I'm like, you don't have to know anything anymore. You just Google it. And now AI is even it's even higher. It's even crazier. I have this new Chat GPT thing on the phone, and you hit it, and the Chat GPT talks back to you like it's a human being. Like it goes, maybe if you think about it, this it has inflection and thought. Like it's absurd. I'm trying to think what I can ask it to be like an example of it. Let me see here. Let's see if we can do this. Hey, explain to me what the Magna Carta is.
The Magna Carta, also known.
Oops. Sorry, I hit a button.
England. It was.
Oops. Okay. Solid job at it. Explain to me what the Magna Carta is.
The Magna Carta, signed in 1215, is a historic document that established the principle that everyone, including the king, was subject to the law. It was originally created to make peace between King John of England and a group of rebellious barons. The document guaranteed certain rights, like protection from illegal imprisonment and access to swift justice. While most of its clauses have been repealed or replaced, it remains a symbol of the rule of law and has influenced many modern legal systems, including the U.S. Constitution.
Not crazy. What's a more important document, the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution?
It sounds like you're asking for more information about the Magna Carta, like a summary that you might use for a presentation or a screen. Could you clarify?
No. Tell me, what is the more important document, the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution? All right. I guess I'll fuck myself then. But isn't that amazing? Like the amount of questions. Let's see. Who is the better basketball team, the Chicago Bulls or the Boston Celtics?
Both the Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics have rich histories in the NBA, but their legacies differ. The Boston Celtics are one of the most successful franchises in NBA history, with a record 17 championships. They dominated the league in the 1950s and 1960s and have had multiple successful eras, including in the 1980s with...
I understand all that, but I want you to tell me who is the better basketball team of all time, the Chicago Bulls or the Boston Celtics? Who's the better basketball team, the Chicago Bulls or the Boston Celtics? All right, fuck ChatGPT. Never mind, I take it all back, all the nice things. Mercury, I haven't used AI yet. I'm not ready, dude. Mercs, gotta do it, man. Gotta do it. Bird hasn't used it either. I'm telling you, I don't even use speech to text, dude. I'm telling you, it is AI isn't opinionated, but it does give you it does give you opinions. Tell me, who is the better basketball team of all time, the Bulls or the Celtics?
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Who is the best basketball team of all time, the Bulls or the Celtics? Fuck it. It probably has to do with my shitty internet connection. I am getting angry with AI, in an argument with AI. Yeah, but it goes back to my point. Like, what do you do? Like, what are kids gonna do? Are our children going to write essays, or are they going to form essays with ChatGPT? You want the youth to understand how to think and reason and understand and work out a problem logically. But at the same time, are we wasting their time with that kind of stuff? I often think about something that John Adams said. John Adams said, my father had to think about, he had to be an expert in war. My father had to be an expert in war. He had to know what war was. He had to study war so that I could study politics and law. And he says, I had to study politics and law so that my sons could study math and science. It's like that evolution of your lineage. Like, you don't, if your children are studying war, something's gone wrong. That should have been done and over with, and then your kids study, art and science, philosophy, art and science, so that your grandkids can study, and move on and so on and so forth. You're always looking for the better thing. We wasted our kids' times with them knowing math equations. It's nice to know and learn history, but do you really need to? I don't know. I just don't know what the point of tests are if you just have the answers at your fingertips at all moments. What does that look like? What is, I don't even know. It seems like all a waste of time to me. I don't know. All I know is this JD Vance is, I feel like Men's Warehouse. He's got a Men's Warehouse endorsement in his future. The guy couldn't wear a more bland suit at all times. Jesus. You think this guy would ever wear like a cream colored suit? I would love to see it. I would love to see it. You think he wakes up in the morning and goes, what should I wear today? The navy blue or the black suit? I don't even know. Should I wear the navy blue suit or the dark navy blue suit? I'm not quite sure what I don't know what I'm feeling today. Armie Hammer can go fuck himself. This is another guy I could do without. This fucking guy, he makes a video yesterday. I almost threw my phone through the friggin' wall because he's at the point and I'll play it for you because he put it on his social media like a douchebag. But he's got his truck and he gives us a little historical look back on his fucking pickup truck, and then trying to tell everybody that he's returning the pickup truck because he can't afford the gas. You're looking at one of the richest motherfuckers ever. Like, the guy is a movie star. He's made millions of dollars on his own. Sure, he's gotten into some legal troubles lately, which supposedly he's made. He was on Bill Maher's Get High With Me on the Couch podcast. And brilliant, by the way. Wish I had came up with that. And said I'm sitting at a fucking desk like a news person, like a savage. Bill Maher's down there smoking a joint, fucking having a cocktail and living it up in a nice little comfy chair. How did I fuck that up? Anyway, he went on the Bill Maher thing and he was explaining how he was innocent and he didn't do all those things. And I don't even know what to believe. I have no idea. I feel like he did a lot of those things and he did a lot of shitty stuff. We did a lot on Armie Hammer. You can go search our podcast history for the Armie Hammer stuff. It was some fucking crazy stories. He was biting people and fucking eating skin and shit. It was all weird, fucked up shit, allegedly. But I wouldn't think that Bill Maher would put him on if he was a fucking people eater, if he was a wife abuser. I don't even know. I mean, there was definitely some issues, I think, that go without saying, but I was a little surprised that Bill Maher had him on. I digress. This son of a bitch makes millions on movies, and besides all that, is the heir to the Armie Hammer fucking company. His family is worth quadrillions, and this motherfucker is out there going, I have to return my truck because gas is so expensive. I wish you would take that pickup truck, turn it sideways, and shove it right up your ass, because I am not going to be made to feel bad for you. I hate these fucking celebrities that are like, isn't this terrible? I have to return my fucking Ford Denali pickup truck. Hey, go fuck yourself. Wait, I'm not going to feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you one bit. Not one bit. Fucking Kevin Spacey's out there like, isn't this terrible? I have to sell my mansion. Yeah, great. Sell it. Go fuck yourself. Oh, I feel bad for you. You have to sell your $6 million mansion and downgrade into like a 3-bedroom home. How awful. How I am so sorry for you. Fuck off. These celebrities that are like, oh, isn't this terrible what I'm going through? Hey, eat it, man. I'm sorry, but go eat shit. Maybe don't be such a dickhead to people from now on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, you never you never hear Fonzie being accused of anything. You want to know why? Because he's fucking nice to everybody. The guy's a gem. He's a peach. He's lovely. If something bad happened to the Fonz, I'd be like, okay, I could feel a little bit. I'm sorry about that. But these fucking rich, entitled actors that are just like, this is my truck. I have to return it. I have to return it because I can't afford the gas. Good. I hope it slips out of park and into drive and runs you over as you're picking up something in front of it. You useless piece of shit.
So I've been back in LA for a couple of weeks now. This is my truck. I bought this for myself in 2017 as a Christmas gift for myself, because I've had pickup trucks for a long time, and I have loved this truck intensely and taken it camping and across country multiple times and on long road trips. And I took it for one last road trip to CarMax. This is not an ad for CarMax. This is because I'm selling my truck. Since being back in LA, I have put about $400 or $500 worth of gas in it, and I can't afford it. I can't afford the gas anymore.
Can't afford it. Are you fucking kidding me? He literally drove to a CarMax, which, by the way, just shows his judgment. I mean, who's fucking really selling a car to CarMax? He drove to a dealership to sell his car, and he thought, I know. I'll take out my phone and record this so I could post it online, because I'm sure everybody's going to want to know where I am today and what I'm doing. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. I spent $400 or $500 on gas since I got back to LA. I spent $400 or $500 on my kids today. And that was just on ice cream. Okay? Nobody feels bad for you. Go fuck yourself. Okay? I've taken many trips. The worst part, the biggest part that I want to punch him in the face, I've taken many trips, and here's my one last trip to CarMax. I hope you take one last trip off a cliff to your untimely death, you piece of shit. Because don't stand there with the fucking D to the Armie Hammer house with all that fucking talcum powder money or whatever. What do they make? Baking soda? And be like, oh, I can't afford the gas prices. Fuck you. This is the guy who had to leave town because of all the issues that happened. Because, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Mercury. Because he was fucking eating people. And went off to like the Caribbean to like a wellness place. Hey, a lot of people can't afford that shit, asshole. A lot of people can't afford to just knock off for a year and a half because they like to bite and hit women and then turn around and go, feel bad for me because I have to fucking sell my truck, which I bought for myself for Christmas. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You know the last thing I bought for myself? An Islander towel. And I immediately regretted it fucking 2 minutes later. I immediately was like, why am I buying this? This is so stupid. Why do I need to buy a fucking $38 Islander towel? You know, that was the last thing I bought for myself is a fucking Islander towel, not a $60,000 car. Nobody feels bad for you. Stupid asshole. He literally thought, let me take out my phone, open up the camera app and record this because people are hurting out there and I'm hurting too. I can't afford gas. I hope he stubs his toe on the edge of the coffee table leg every day for the next 78 days because he is such a piece of shit that I cannot even. If I ever see this fucking guy.
I mean, this truck, like kids home from the hospital, all that stuff.
I'm just lucky the kids made it home from the hospital and you didn't eat them on the way home. You overzealous fucking
amazing trips. But you know what? That's okay. I got a new car. It's tiny. It's a hybrid. I'm probably going to put about $10 of gas in it a month. And this is it.
That was the biggest, most heartbreaking part is that he had to get a new car, a brand new one, and it was a hybrid. You know, I'm going to go tomorrow down to the bus stop and ask those people if they feel bad for Armie Hammer in his new fucking hybrid. You fucking asshole piece of shit. I do not like that guy at all. It's like one last trip to CarMax. I fucking swear to God. I forgive him though, because I'm going to talk about the Pope next. And I feel like that's what the Pope would do. I feel like the Pope would forgive him. The Pope said on, well, I guess whatever, to the world. He announced to the world, hey, be nice to migrants, you know, that you can't reject migrants. That's not Christian-like. And people are having a lot of trouble with that because they like yelling at migrants. We're very big on screaming at immigrants these days. It's a big part of our whole thing. We're angry at the immigrants. I mean, I'm angry. I'm angry at Armie Hammer. Not so much the immigrants. I'm much more angry at Armie Hammer. I can't. I would love it. Can you deport a citizen? Let's look into that because I know he's from here, but I would love to send him anywhere else. Could be Mexico, not Canada. It's too nice for him. Someplace far. I saw there was like a place. There's a place that's so far. Shit, I can't remember the name of it. There's a little tiny island that's so far away from every other landmass. It's actually closer to the satellites in outer space than it is to any of the other continents. I would like to send Armie Hammer there with no food and let him fucking figure it out. Just figure it out, asshole. You're on your own. Anyway, back to the Pope. You got to keep me off of Armie Hammer because it's going to drive me nuts all for the rest of the day. So the Pope said today, there are those who work systematically and with every means to reject migrants. And this, when done with conscience and responsibility, is a grave sin. I feel like he's talking about Donald Trump, but I'm interested to know if the Pope would even give a shit to single out Donald Trump. Maybe he's just unhappy with all the whole immigration talk. But the right-wing social media people just went fucking nuts. And they're all pointing out that the Pope lives in Vatican City, which has a wall around it. I mean, just the stupidest fucking shit. Like, yeah, yes. Okay, yes. You got everybody there. You are correct. There is technically a wall around Vatican City that was built at the beginning of time. It wasn't this Pope that did that. It wasn't this Pope that's like, you know what? The Mexicans are bothering me. Let's get a wall going. That's not how it happened. He didn't build a wall to keep out all the what's in Italy. He didn't build a wall and go, oh, okay, let's keep the Sicilians out. We can't have them crossing the border and coming into Vatican City. They can't have those friggin' Sicilians in here. Let's build a wall, make sure they stay out, and then get on stage and talk about how you got to let people. He didn't do that. That's not how it works. The guy's just saying if you're working to keep people, from finding a better situation, that's a grave sin. Now, is it a grave sin? That I don't know. Because it kind of to me feels like harboring child molesters. That might be a grave sin. That would be bad. If there was a bunch of people that molested children and then a bunch of other people that helped them cover it up under the guise of we're doing charity and God's work here, that I think sounds like a grave sin to me. Being a dickhead, not so much. Is it dickish? It is. Is it a grave sin? No, I'm not so sure about. Holy fuck. Robin says the Pope is making a video right now turning in his Pope mobile. This is my Pope mobile. I turned it into CarMax. Gas too expensive for the Pope mobile. Gas too much. I pray for lower gas price. It no come. You imagine the Pope just writing his little. I prayed today for lower gas prices, and instead I had to start to sell my car, starting to question the existence of God. The Pope mobile no longer fit on gate to get in and out of wall. I sell it. I sell it to CarMax. I don't know if that's how the Pope sounds. I really should have researched this impression before I did it. I do have him talking, but I think he's talking, and I don't know. He talks like he's got a 75 fucking language. I don't know. Pope speaks every single language ever invented, so I don't really know. Is this Italian?
E questo quanto è fatto con coscienza e responsabilità è un peccato grave.
I don't know, but I thought I just heard him say fatso. I think he said fatso, which I take offense to. I give him credit though. He's out there. It's hot as shit right now in Italy. It is fucking hot, and the people are all staying. He's in a little shady area. I don't know if you can see this, but he's in a little shady area. The fucking crowd's got the sun just beating down on him right now. This shit. That's you want to talk about? Look at all these people. Look at this guy. People fanning themselves. They're fucking baking out there. You want to be Christian? Invite them in under the tent, motherfucker. All right, it feels like I shouldn't have said motherfucker to the Pope. That I'd like to apologize for. That felt like you got to forgive me for that. I'm still hot over the Armie Hammer truck thing. That was uncalled for. I feel bad about it. Frank's gonna pull me into the office on that one. He's gonna give me a talking to about that one, and rightfully so. Robin says the Pope says room a lot. It's true. That's true. I heard him. Yeah, I don't know. But people are losing their minds on social. The right wing people are fucking going crazy because they're like, fuck this guy, man. Which is so crazy to me because it just speaks to the power of Trump. This guy can get all the Christians to follow him, forget all their, and then the second the Pope is like, hey, why don't you be nicer to people? They're like, man, fuck that guy. He lives behind a wall too. Fucking hypocrite. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like I don't know where we're going. We've lost all sorts of standards, all any semblance of standards. Those are just gone. Those are gone. Pope's like, hey, Jesus kind of preached about taking care of the weak and nimble. Yeah, but fuck that, man. My taxes. Which I would like the taxes to go down too. I'm not going to lie to you. We definitely have to fix the problem. But, I just to watch the reaction, just for the Pope to be like, hey, let's be a little nicer to the people seeking asylum and trying to find a better life. And the right wingers on fucking social media and Twitter are like, man, fuck this guy. Who is this guy? All the Christians are like, who? What? The who? Oh, that's right. I forgot. Feels like they're too busy. They're so busy worshiping Trump, they forgot there was a fucking Pope. I think they think that Trump took over the Pope. That when he left the White House, he went straight to the Vatican. They do call Mar-a-Lago Vatican City South. I believe that's also a nickname for Mar-a-Lago these days. I don't know. But the amount of people, meanwhile, at Vatican City, it's a picture of a fucking wall. The Pope should mind his own business. Look at all the homeless people sleeping outside of the Vatican. The Pope wants to fix something. He should fix this. I don't know. It's a brutal world out there, man. You can't speak up too much. That it's been a light night. We have other assorted items and such. Let's talk about this quickly. I have to give my condolences out to Bird. Bird told us about her cousin last episode, and her cousin passed since last episode to this one. And Bird, I just want to say I'm so sorry for that. I mean, it's so terrible. I will say too, and I do have to say this because it doesn't take away from your grieving process at all. It was wonderful to see everybody rally around Bird. It was really heartwarming and nice. I can't cry. I don't have those physical emotions, but I feel like if I did have tear ducts, something would have came out, because just to watch everybody message and write nice things on the Discord and just show up and support her, that really messed me up good. It was lovely to see. I can't believe this silly little thing that we built has turned into this community of just support and love and affection for one another. It's just lovely. It's just lovely. So condolences to your family, Bird. I'm so sorry for that. Your cousin was young, she was beautiful, a mom. Just so that's so devastating. And then I was just reading earlier, her car got broken into. I'm so sorry. You're having a week there, Bird. I feel like you have a beer coming to you. You deserve a marg. You need a marg or a joint, or I don't even know what you're into, but whatever it is, you should get some of it, because it feels like a rough week. Now, I also did see a what do you call that? GoFundMe. Can you put that in the chat so that we can or anybody who has the means can donate? I could tell you that, oh, here we go. Bird's smoking a bowl right now. Perfect. That's great for two reasons. One, you need it. Two, I'm a lot funnier when people are high. That's what I've learned, that when you're a little and everybody's a little, my bits come off a lot better. A lot better. Thank you, Robin, for the link there. I hope that's clickable to everybody. If you send that to me, I'll I'll make sure to include it in the description of this post so that this episode, so that everybody gets it who watches on the replay and everything like that. I can't believe the amount of people that watch this podcast like 6 days later. I'm like, there's 2 new episodes. Why are you watching the old one? All this new shit everything we said in that one 6 days ago is useless now, but people do it. So the point is shoot me that again, tag me in something. I don't know. So Twitter or Discord or whatever's easy for you so that I can put that in this episode. It is going to be all right. Yeah, it is. You're going to be fine. It's the weirdest thing about human beings, man. We fucking get over shit. We make it through. Remember 9/11? I just remember thinking on September 12th, like, holy shit, this is never going to be the same. And we got through it. We did it. We made it through the pandemic. You can make it through something like this. I was telling you about the person close to me. They wound up back in the hospital today. It's a gut-wrenching thing, dude. It stinks. So I feel for you, and I feel you. And I know what you're going through, and it's unfortunate. Last year, 2 years ago, I lost somebody very young, very close to me, and it was awful. And it's still awful, and it still stinks. But you get through it. You know, you work your way through it. The bowls help. Smoking a bowl helps. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd lie to my kids and say don't do drugs, but let's be honest. That shit helps out a little bit. It really, really helps out. And I also want you to know this, Bird, that when you look at that GoFundMe a couple days from now, whatever the biggest monetary amount that was given by an anonymous donor is what I'm going to claim I gave. So let's all look forward to that. So if anybody else was thinking about doing that, just know I'm picking the biggest one. Pick a smaller one, okay? Because I'm going to be out there going, no big deal or nothing, but I was that anonymous person who shelled out $300. I put $300 down. It's not a big deal. Just put it under anonymous. Don't give me the credit. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be me. That's the bit I'm going to do in a couple of days. Thank you for the link to that. I hope everybody can throw a little something their way, because I don't know what you do with those 2 kids. God knows they're going to need some help, I'm sure. Speaking of which, this is what we're going to put in the other assorted items and such. The Surgeon General today came out and basically said that, the Surgeon General issued a public health advisory to parents, basically saying that being a parent can be hazardous to your health. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Preach, Surgeon General. Preach. I the whole thing, they're like, it could be, all right, here we go. This guy said he highlighted a long list of issues that stresses out parents and called for policy changes and better community support. Send everybody a bowl, and I'm going to be honest with you. A marijuana bowl or a burrito bowl, both is going to be fine with me. Both of those is going to help me get through the day of being a parent equally. I prefer one before the other, but I'll take either one. If you did this game and you were like, one's got a burrito bowl, the other one's got a weed bowl, pick one. I'm going to pick and be happy with whatever I get. You're not going to hear me complain. No Armie hammer here. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for whatever I have. You just got to be careful though, because when I read this earlier today, I took my kids and I left them at the bus station. And then a cop brought them back a couple hours later and it said, despite what the Surgeon General told you, you still have to raise these people. And I said, those aren't people. You live with them for 3 days and you tell me if those are people, because I think they're savages. Okay. I know I'm a part of bringing them into this world, but people make mistakes and you're holding the 2 that I made. So it was a real trying day. It was a real trying day. But I do, again, as we look at the bingo card for 2024, if somebody would have told me that the Surgeon General would have said being a parent is a health hazard, I would have been like, this is amazing. I feel like we're finally getting to a level of telling the truth, You look at the political race, you look at the presidential campaign, there's a lot of bullshit there. But the Surgeon General going, being a parent is hazardous to your health. Now we're speaking our truths. You know what I'm saying? Now we're in the trust tree, in the nest, and we're getting some shit out there, and we're fucking, we're working it out. You know what I'm saying? We're making it happen. We are just making it happen. A couple other little things here. By the way, if there's any topics you guys want to talk about, throw it out now, because we're rounding third, people. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm running out of steam here. Today's topics were a little, I was like, holy shit, this is going to be a 13-minute episode. Oh, wait, we have to talk about this quickly. Joe Biden is going into his second week of vacation. This whole, I'm going to finish out my presidency strong thing. Yeah, if you mean getting to the beach early so you get the good spot, then you're killing it. You're crushing it, bro. But outside of that, I don't know. That's a lot of beach activity for somebody running the free world. You know what I mean? He's all like, "All right, I'm out of the race, but I'm gonna finish strong." And then he's been at the beach for 2 weeks. I shouldn't say that. He's starting his second week. That's not a political statement, by the way. Everybody should feel that way. But I bring it up because, and you're gonna have to find this photo on your own, because I can't show the Getty images are always, we can't show those things. I want you to Google Joe Biden at the beach. And I want you to take a look at the chair that he is in. The president of the United States should have a beach chair that rivals that fucking throne in Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be decked out with space age, aerospace materials, with a ball tickler and a coal. It should have a fridge in it. This guy is walking around with the beach chair that my grandmother owned for 60 years. This thing is such a piece of shit in this just awful teal and pink striped fabric that it looks like it is just old and awful and just shit. I'm like, this is the president of the United States of America. And I have a better beach chair than him. I don't know if you know this. I got a Tommy Bahama beach chair. I'm doing just fine. And I'm looking down at the person who has his finger on the button. That shouldn't be. President of the United States, podcast host. And if you look at the both of us at the beach, you'd be thinking, what is that overweight gentleman doing that he's doing so much better than the president? And the answer is not much. I shop at Costco, motherfucker. They have Tommy Bahama chairs. Why doesn't the president of the United States do that? This fucking chair looks like the chair that was on the deck of the Titanic. It's the only thing that is older than Joe Biden on the beach. And yeah, I'm counting the sand and the fucking clams and the 130-year-old lobsters, those blue lobsters that they find every now and then, that you're like, we're in a simulation. Why is there a fucking blue lobster? All that shit. And the chair is the oldest fucking thing. It doesn't make any sense. Can we get this guy a nicer chair? Fucking 60 years of public service. Guy lost his wife, children, right? His sanity. He gave it all up for the country. Can we get him a fucking comfortable chair on the beach? I don't understand. You know those people who don't even have a chair and they just bring a towel with like no umbrella whatsoever? Those people look at this chair and go, I'm so sorry you have to live this way. This is very unfortunate. It is the worst piece of shit chair that I have ever seen. Cuck chairs are nicer, okay? If we're going to be totally honest, if you gave me a choice between sitting in Joe Biden's beach chair or a cuck chair at a Super 8 motel in the middle of Montana, give me the Super 8. Give me the Super 8 cuck. I'll take it any day of the week. It looks way more comfortable than this chair. This chair doesn't even look like it reclines. This is the worst fucking chair I've ever seen. It is just terrible. Thank you, Kaylin, for donating to Bird's family. That's very, very kind of you. It's very, very kind of you. That was very, very nice. I just want you to know, Bird, that gift is from the both of us. That Kaylin and I got together and we just wanted to do something nice. No need to thank the both of us. I noticed you only thanked her. Anyway, we got to get the president of the United States a better chair. That's. I don't know if I've ever seen President Trump on the beach, but I would imagine he would be in some gold-plated shit. You know what I'm saying? I would imagine he would be in something that you would just be like, "What the fuck is?" Oh, it's Trump sitting on a chair. Okay, all right. I didn't know what this gold. I thought it was an alien coming down. The weird the light refraction. The whole thing is messed up. But it's fucking. At least it's gold-plated. You know. This thing is just that awful silver aluminum with just the terrible wooden arms, just that are just uncomfortable and shitty. I don't know, man. I'm a little embarrassed to be an American today. I'm just like, can't we get this guy a fucking? I know there's more expensive chairs. Can't what's that Restoration Hardware? I mean, they got some expensive shit over there. Go get one of them fucking things. Guy sitting on a chair that looks like it was made with material from an old Barney costume. It's just fucking awful. Just terrible. Speaking of the beach, all right, this is a story that everybody's going to ignore. Scientists recently discovered a 2-mile high mountain underwater. They found this underwater mountain that's nearly 2 miles tall and supports a thriving deep sea ecosystem that they believe includes an estimated 20 new species, which they've identified so far after they discovered this little mountain range under the water. Isn't that incredible? In the middle of fucking nowhere. There's this search vessel called the Falcor. It sails around the world and it gathers data to create a detailed map of the sea. And boom, came across this thing. There's also, I love a fucking new species. Oh my God. Can I tell you something? Can we be honest with each other? I'm so sick of all the species we have. I've seen it all. The fish with the little light on it, that was so much fun for a little while. Now I'm even sick of that thing. I can't even, who cares? Been there, done that. I need some new species. And thanks to the Falcor vessel, we've got some now to look at, which is just lovely and wonderful. I wish they were slightly different looking. You know, a lot of them, they're all very octopus shaped and, you know, kind of weird fish looking things. I would just love to get just like a whole new thing. You know, like the arms are where the feet are. It's got feet for hands. You know, there's like an elbow coming out of his ear. I don't know how it all works, but I would just love, you know, when you give a kid a piece of paper and a crayon, you're like, draw something cool, and they draw this fucked up thing, and you're like, all right, that's cool. Yeah, I never seen that shit before. That's fun. I just wish one of those could come to life and be one of the new species that we discovered. That would be just fun for everybody. You know, I did realize though in reading this story that I do have a problem because they found this like round bulbous like crab structure. And when it was just like picture a crab, but just perfectly like a round ball with weird legs sticking out of it. And when I saw that, I go, I bet you, as weird as that is, that would be delicious in some drawn butter. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to get that son of a bitch in a pot of boiling water, crack it all open, throw it on a nice little bun, some butter on top, take it down and see if we haven't discovered a new dish. Because the only thing better than discovering a new species is discovering a new sort of crab roll. That's the only way we can better everything, you know? Just get in there, crack that fucker open, see how it tastes with some butter on it. That's all I'm saying. I don't think I'm asking anything crazy. They say that 26% of the ocean floor has been mapped to high resolution, which means 74%, we just don't know what the fuck's going on. We just have no idea. And what I find fascinating the most about all of this is this was a story that I had to dig for. This is the only place you're going to hear a story like that. Nobody gives a shit about 20 new species, which I find odd because if a new species comes from outer space, world-stopping news. If it's in the water, who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? That feels like a bit of a double standard to me. Why doesn't anybody give a shit about the new species that's here? You know, they look at that story and they go, let me wake me up when you find one that came from the sky. We're not impressed with things underwater anymore. From another area, we love. Robin says they sound delicious. Yeah. Something prehistoric that Jesus rode. Yeah, that would be nice. What was the thing that Trump said about Jesus the other day? Did you guys see that? I'm worried that he's losing it too. Is anybody else worried about that he might have we might have overdone it? We might have broke him. I think he might be broken. He was, by the way, he was the first person after the debate to be like, we knocked Joe out. Now we have Kamala. We got Kamala. Everybody was like, you're batshit crazy. That's not going to happen. And then it happened. You know, and then it happened. And I don't know if he's ever been okay with it. I think he's pissed. I think because he was cruising to an easy victory, just beating up that old man with a lack of a decent beach chair. And now he's like, fuck, I got to try again. I don't think he's happy about it. I really don't. He was on Dr. Phil. Yeah, okay, here we go. We found it. Dr. Phil, and he's talking about Jesus counting votes. Let's listen to this.
I had a crowd so big, I said, there's no way I could lose California, but automatically they mark it down if you're a Republican as a loss, that you lose by 5 million votes. I said, 5 million votes? I guarantee if Jesus came down and was the vote counter, I would win California, okay?
That's a bold statement. I know Republicans have won California. Like Arnold was a Republican governor of California. Reagan was the governor of California. Did Reagan win the California in his presidency? Let's see. When was the last time a Republican, you motherfucker? When was the last time?
Sorry, I'm having issues right now.
Yeah,
we both understand what you said.
We both are. When was the last time a Republican? Hold for a minute. When was the last time a Republican won California in a presidential election? Nope. This was working so good the other day, man. Me and my kids were having full-on conversations with this thing. I was like, I got to take this on the show. That was a mistake. When was the last time a Republican, you son of a bitch? I don't know why it's not hearing anything now. When was the last time a Republican won? No. Maybe if I speak into the microphone, it can fucking thing is like, sorry, I'm busy. I can't do it right now. When was the last time a Republican won the state of California in a presidential election? Now I have to read this shit instead of having the fucking thing read it to me. Last time a Republican won the state of California was a presidential election of 1988. George H.W. Bush defeated Democrat Dukakis in that election. Since then, California has consistently voted for Democrats. So 88, 2 years is 90. 10 to 2000, 32 some odd years. Almost 32 years since a Republican has won that state. It's not that far-fetched. When was the last time a Fuck you. I thought I'd give it another try. All right, we got to fix the chat GPT. See, this is why Nvidia stock is going into the toilet. I can't get it. Stupid podcast host can't get a fucking question off. You know what I mean? Flying White says you should use this every podcast. I'm telling you, the other night, I'm watching my son have a full-on conversation with this thing about what rides there are at Disney World and all this like fun and exciting stuff. And the thing is like so the chat GPT was talking to him, and then he kept asking questions. And then at the end of one of the questions, the chat GPT corrected something it had previously told him. He was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm sorry I gave you incorrect information earlier. The actual and it gave the actual answer." I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "What is this?" All right, I'm going to try one last time because I'm a sucker and an idiot. How many times has a Republican candidate won the state of California in the presidential election?
A Republican candidate has won California in a presidential election 5 times. The last time was in 1988 when George H.W. Bush won the state.
5 times. Okay, out of how many presidential elections that we've had?
There have been 59 presidential elections in U.S. history so far. So Republican candidates have won California in 5 of those.
Okay. So thank you, ChatGPT. We did it. We did it, everybody. We got the stupid thing to answer a question. So out of the history of the United States of America and 59 elections, a Republican has won the state of California 5 times. And Donald Trump thinks that he would be winning if it wasn't for the fact that Jesus Christ isn't available to come down and count the votes. Did I get that wrong? This is not left-wing conjecture trying to make him look like an idiot. Like, he legitimately said this. He believes it. How else are we supposed to interpret this? Like, does he really believe that everybody in the state of California has it against him? What process is happening where they're stealing the state from him, that he feels that if old honest Jesus came down and counted the votes, that he would be okay? I'm sorry, but I feel like he's slipping a bit. He's losing it a little bit. I know if Frank were here right now, he'd be screaming that he lost it a long time ago. I understand that. But I'm just saying, if you have been on the Trump side and have felt good about it, that's fine with me. You're okay with me. Explain that one to me, though, because that one feels a little disjointed. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like, when you got your crazy friend who's like so hopped up on all these crazy conspiracy, like the birds aren't real and all this shit. And you're just like, okay, all right, Phil. You just leave Phil alone. You just leave him in the corner, just drooling, just having a good time by himself. You just don't want to be a part of it. That's kind of what I feel like we're doing here. It's kind of like what I feel like we're doing. Hey, way to rebound, ChatGPT. You kind of screwed me for a little while there, but you came back in the end with the answers and you saved the podcast. Thank you, ChatGPT.
I'm glad I could help. If you need anything else for the podcast or anything else, just let me know.
Oh my God. Can you find me better co-hosts?
I can't find co-hosts directly, but I can definitely offer tips on how to find great ones. For example, consider looking for people with complementary skills, shared interests, or previous podcast experience. Networking within relevant communities or social media platforms can also be a good strategy. What kind of qualities or expertise are you looking for in a co-host?
I'm looking for somebody that's good at stealing salads from honest restaurant owners.
It sounds like you're joking, but if you need a co-host who brings a unique or humorous perspective, it might be worth looking for someone with a strong sense of humor and creativity. They could add a fun dynamic to your podcast.
What about liberal pussies? Are they good for podcast hosts?
It's best to focus on finding co-hosts who bring value to your podcast and have relevant skills or interests, rather than labeling or making assumptions about them. A good co-host should complement your style and help enhance the overall show.
Okay, good advice. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you need any more advice or have other questions, feel free to ask.
All right. Fucking ChatGPT came back in the long run. Well, I don't know. I didn't think anybody caught that. You made AI stutter. Yeah. Did you notice that? And he was like, fucking AI. Listen, we did it. We got through it. We made it happen. That right there, what you just witnessed, was a full on, entirely before your very eyes podcast episode. We did it. You know, a lot of people didn't think we could do it. Mainly my parents, who never think I can do anything, and most of the audience, and also Frank. But despite all of those people, we did it. We almost didn't get the fucking outro show, the outro music on, but we did that too. All right, we've overcome. We made it happen. Big thanks to everybody for being here on this episode. As you know, I always have a lot of fun with you guys when it's just me and you sitting around here just bullshitting, just making it happen. For all the laughs, appreciate that. For all the support for Bird, I appreciate that too. I know she's been speaking about it, and it's very kind of everybody to come together again. That speaks to my heart. It means the world to me. Back on Friday, Frankie C's back with us. Aaron with another game. I have heard from J Sabs. I do have some updates on the Swinger House, but we'll wait till she comes back to fill us all in. I don't know if that'll be Friday or Monday, but come back for Friday's show. It's going to be a good one.
Show me potato salad. Maybe we should go now.